Oh shoot, I forgot to put the thing down. Uh-oh.
It's Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to So You Don't Fuss There on your girl Chase.
Yeah.
I don't have my thing up, so this is the thing. Before we get started, I just really want to take a moment to shout out our subscribers and specifically our Patreon, but also our subscribers. Because this is the thing. So I've been doing this podcasting virtually for like 6, 7 years.
You're right.
Okay. And did a great job. But, okay. It is a different skill set to transition from a virtual podcast to an in-person podcast. So we have been like starting at the bottom, ground zero, okay, in getting things right, like the sound and the lighting and the camera and which extension cord do you need, and it's very interesting. So what you all are witnessing is the actual building and creating of a podcast, as well as the transitioning, because it started out virtually,
Right.
and then transitioning to in person. So like y'all for real getting like the behind the scenes stuff and such. So, but this is what I want to say. We got the mic show. What? We need y'all to tell us in the comments, can you hear us or no? Is it acting funny? Like, is it like, give us real feedback? You're clear, sit, pull the mic down, like, stop all that damn laughing, like, tell us. Because, baby, I watched that, some of them videos, and I said, my God, these people must love us.
We appreciate the support. As we grow into this, we thank you for that. Your feedback has been valuable.
Because I was asking myself, would I have sat here and watched it? I acted up. It was so wild. So anyway, thank you to y'all for rocking with us for real. It means a lot. And we are excited to have y'all along on this journey. Please, this is the other thing. Wait. Okay.
All of them in line.
Thank you. So Kalonda's talking to my brain people because my brain people be doing the most. And everybody be trying to get my attention at the same time. And everybody be giving like, okay. So I said our subscribers, then specifically our Patreon,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So if you are watching and you are a part of the Patreon, we need you to throw the emojis into the comments. Okay. That is our secret language, right? Where we are.
I see you. You see me.
So let's talk about what happens over on the Patreon, right? Oh, well, yeah, and also, okay, style, because this is important to understand. So my Black Guys business started as my middle finger to Pennsylvania and school improvement and the U.S. education system. So I am a school improvement specialist, and I work with district leadership on creating safe schools and culturally competent schools, right? So it was a lot there. Racism. So I started this page in this movement, if you will, because I was like, I'm just trying to mind my Black ass business. And they sitting up here just won't let me do what you're asking me to do. Yeah. You asked me to be here with this specific skill set, and I don't understand what is happening. But this is the story of many Black women in the U.S., regardless of the field, right? So that's how I started page. I started it because I was like, I'm minding my black ass business and I'm about to snitch all over the place. Because you see, I'm a snitch. And I'm all right. And I know we talked about on another episode, we was like, well, I'm a snitch. Okay. And I need it to be known. So if you don't want somebody to know about it, don't do it around me. Because I will sing like a song. Going to jail, we're not doing that. Okay?
We didn't say that.
You better get to singing then. But anyway, so when I started this page, it was for that purpose. Like to be like, this is what's happening in the U.S. education system. Y'all need to listen. Like, this is wild. These people are wild. It's wild. It's bad. So then they didn't like that. So, and they really wanted me to be quiet. There was a lot of stress that was happening behind the scenes. So then I kind of just went away from YouTube for a little while because I was like, the block is hot. It's a lot. I was moving to a new country. It was a lot that was happening. So then I decided, I was like, my black ass business also is not just the trauma, it's also the good stuff too. And I'm experiencing all this good stuff and I want to talk about that as well. So then I started doing that. Well, then my cousin finally listened to me and came into my universe, right? So now that she is here, my black ass business feels more like a universe. It started out as, and it is still like this movement and kind of like this big FU to the ways that we've had to exist in the world and capitalism and hustle culture and all that. It is still very much, ain't nobody finna be doing that no more.
Right.
But it feels bigger than me, and it is bigger than me. So what you all may have noticed over the past few days or so is that the logo has changed, and on the front-facing things, it's Minding My Black Ass Business faceless, because I believe that this is a platform that people will get launched from and out of. So I will still have Minding My Black Ass Business as far as my podcast and like shaping what that looked like and continuing to tell that story. But if you follow the page, you also know I have my blog series, How I'm Kim, right? So I'm really about to lean into that because my life is so much more than the trauma that I have been through. So having said that, one of the things that I realized is that we're international, right? And universal in many ways,
Right.
you know. So I do want to pause here and say bienvenidos a las todas personas de Latinoamérica, Latam. We have a lot of people that are watching in Colombia, in Mexico, in Guatemala. There are people that are hanging out with us all over the place, and not just the U.S. So that is like really cool and something to like really wrap your mind around, that we've gone from like this place of being well known, if you will, or knowing the kind of things, and then like launching out, and now it's out here. The whole world here. And they can see you. So I want to pause here. And so what does that feel like?
Well, for someone who doesn't particularly like being perceived and seen, it's interesting. But it helps me see me, which I've really been enjoying that process.
Tell me more.
It just helps this part while I'm healing and working through like my own struggles, and I shouldn't even say struggles. It doesn't feel like struggles anymore. But my own journey is like I can kind of see myself through the eyes of others and go, oh, okay, that's what that looks like. And it also helps me see some of the differences, and be able to see those like small shifts of like confidence growing, or like trusting in myself, or recognizing things, or it's like, that's probably not in your best interest, Kalonda. Why do you keep doing that? So it definitely kind of helps you see that when you have to watch it back and you're like, oh, okay. That shift in lens, definitely.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So we're doing two different things with the mic here. And y'all talk to us in the comments, okay? I appreciate that you are even willing to go back and watch yourself, because some people refuse to do that.
Mhm.
So for you to even be willing to say, let me watch and let me see how I can improve, I know that some of it comes from the giftedness inside you.
I don't make it better. This video is the worst one you will ever see. Like that's, I know.
I know that it comes from that.
Right.
I wonder if you see any shifts in the giving grace to yourself.
It is an active journey. I will stop myself when I start to hear the negative speaking. It's like, hey now, none of that. But it happens every once in a while. It's getting better. I'm definitely more aware. The awareness has started, and that's really the beginning of getting it right. Sorry, but that really is where it starts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a small shift, but it's a shift nonetheless.
Okay.
I will reframe.
Okay, there we go. Okay, good. That's important. That's how it starts. Right, that's the awareness. Because this is the other thing that I wanted to say, because I was like, what happens on the Patreon? Right. On the Patreon is where you all get to be a part of these kinds of conversations and where you have the show. Because honestly, this is the thing. In our lives, okay, in everybody's life, there are too many people that have access to you. Okay. And what we don't do often is do a village audit and really think about how we feel after we talk to people, or, if we're talking to them out of obligation versus the genuine, like, I haven't talked to you in a while, I'm going to actually talk to you, or is it like, let me just go ahead and answer the phone because I know I've been dodging, like just really examining that and what that like and stuff like. So, and also, it is very important to understand that healing is happening over here in the Mind of My Black Ass Business universe, right? And healing is the priority. And when we are healing, we are not able to grant access to everyone. Okay. Even though sometimes people have the best intentions, but the impact can have a detrimental effect on the healing process. So one of the systems that we put into place for people to be able to actually have access to this is Patreon. And Patreon is only $5 a month. It comes with the opportunity to be a part of backstage impromptu conversations. Like yesterday, we went live when we were prepping for the show today, and then we were talking about some other stuff too, and we were testing the mics, and it was a lot that was happening. But if you're like, I wonder what this is like, then you get to have access to that. And then also, content Kalonda is a thing. And I would like for you to tell the people what happens over on Content Kalonda.
So in Content Kalonda, right now we're working on a blanket. So we're working on putting out a mood blanket and what that looks like. Are we doing, well, we're doing now what?
Now or later what? Oh, talking about it? We can come back to it.
Yeah, so working on like what I'm doing creatively now. When I take my little field trips, what it is that I'm seeing out in these Colombian streets. Whenever you're texting me, calling, asking, what you do today? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. That's what's in Content Kalonda at the moment. Me discovering why I walk so fast. A little
Y'all, Kalonda is, let me rephrase, I'm taller than Kalonda. Okay. It's a fact.
Anyway.
It's a fact.
Go ahead.
And both of us have little legs.
Yes.
But this girl be like, I'm like, slow down. Where's she going? Where are you going? What is happening? So she consciously, I can see it, like she'll be walking and then she's like,
I actively have to say it. She's like, girl, there are way too many hills here. Like they're gonna take you out. And I'm like hopping up the hill, trying to tell her a story, trying to breathe. I'm working on it. I don't know. We're gonna see. Because apparently it's just what I do. But they told me, my Cali kids were like, well, you know, we used to run the streets in Hillcrest all the time. So you probably get it from him walking with us. Because he was like, you know, gay guys walk fast. You
oh, okay.
So
I know it took me a minute to get that you like gay guys. And I was like, okay.
It's a legend. So
Okay. Gotcha. Interesting. So it's cool over on Patreon. So if you are like, we love having this, we love that. They're so cute. They're so like wonderful, right? Come on into the Patreon. It's pinned in the comments. All right. Okay. All right. So that's that. And in a minute, I promise I'm going to I'm gonna get to the roller show because you try to generalize it.
Give us a problem.
Go ahead. Tell me about my problem.
With me utilizing my brain people to memorize things. And I can say she has a problem. That's a harsh thing. But Kim has identified that I will just try to absorb the information and keep it in my head when it is typically written down somewhere else or like made note of it. And she's like, why are you holding on to that? It's written here on this paper that you can utilize. So then we'll go to do something and then I'll have the information in my head. She's like, for real, you just gonna do it off the top of the dome like that, huh?
This is an open book time. Like, why are you using great people to do that?
But what happens if all the systems fail and all you have left is your brain?
But they're not failed.
We don't know.
Hey y'all, welcome to So You I'm your girl Cheese. We are real life cousins, and we talk about something we thought was normal in our lives, and it actually was the family recipe for dysfunction. So we're on a journey to healing, and as I mentioned earlier, healing is a priority over here. All right, but we bringing y'all along on this journey with self-discovery, laughter, a whole lot of shenanigans and such and so. My name is Kimberland, House of O'Neill, Jackson, and Adams, empathetic, energizer, intuitive, inspirational, innovative, seer of souls who are hurting, healer of hearts, and voice to the voiceless.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Kalonda. First of her name, House Jackson. I am an assistant to entrepreneurs, a beacon of banter, creator of content, which is what I forgot last time, which is hilarious.
That is funny.
Good memes and excellence and enchantress. And don't forget, a New Orleans native.
I can't snap with this.
You can understand what I can only wink with one.
And I also can't listen.
That's I don't know how to teach people how to listen. I can teach you how to tread water, but I can't teach you how to listen.
Y'all, our whole life, I thought that Kalonda was a lifeguard when we were kids, right? So she used to go to a summer camp that was around the corner from my house. And she would come to the house before she would go to camp. I think it was before.
I think so.
And then she would walk to camp. And the uniform was red shorts and a white shirt, okay? And I remember you had braids because you had to swim. And in my mind, she was a lifeguard. And she taught me how to tread water. She was a lifeguard. So then, like this year, I was like, yeah, because you were a lifeguard. And she was like,
never. Never ever.
And I still don't believe it. I still don't believe it. But I need y'all to understand that there were moves that I made. Believing that she was a lifeguard. And she wasn't.
Faith is a wonderful thing. God will protect you in his loving arms at all
Do you remember when I jumped in 12 feet up and down? Do you remember that?
You thought I could say,
Yeah.
oh, look at you, see?
Do you remember that day?
Look at the day, but I feel like you survived.
We were at the company cooking, and I was like, I'm gonna jump off the board. I don't really know how to swim. I know how to float. Okay.
That's important.
But I don't really know how to swim for real. I feel like I can figure it out if I need to, but I don't be out here swimming like that. But I jumped off of into 12 feet of water off a diving board, got all the way to the bottom, and came back up because I knew that if something went around, my life cousins was gonna save me, and the girl wasn't never like,
Never the lifeguard.
oh my god. So, I just needed to say that right quick because she said tread water, and I'm still grappling with that.
The good thing about being here, though, you can set your expectations of what you'd like to hear from us. And then we can tell you also what we expect from you, okay? You don't have to know how to swim. If you do get in the water, please make sure you look around for certified lifeguards to help you. And if not, great. I think those are very important. While you're here, though, all we ask is that, respect for the community, engage with us, talk to us in the comments, share with a friend. We also want you to experience this with us. We are not experts in everything. We are experts in certain fields. Don't get me wrong. That is there. But we are not experts in everything. We are not therapists, clearly. But but we definitely have a point of opinion that we want to share with you. And we've vowed to go on this journey with a level of transparency to allow you to come with us. And so we truly appreciate you doing that. And we would love to hear from you in the comments with any questions you may have, any suggestions. If you're like, hey girl, I know how to help you with that. Like, I went through that the other day. And please know, usually you're not the only person experiencing it. We're not the only person experiencing it. Your comment can go much further than you actually anticipate. And like Kim said, we are international, so you never know. The opportunities are out there.
So ask the questions again. This is the way for you to have access. All right. So we do have some updates. First is a correction to the bonus episode.
Yes.
So on the bonus episode, we were talking about Diddy, and towards the end of the episode, we talked about Samira and Takara. And it has come to our attention that we are very much aunties.
Yes.
And we got the Takaras mixed up.
Two Takaras.
So the Takara that we thought that it was America's Next Top Model Takara. That's not the right Takara. It's the Takara that's the comedian Takara.
Yes.
Okay, so she didn't used to be a top model and then transitioned into comedian. She always been a comedian. Okay, now the Takara, the top model Takara, we wasn't talking to her. Okay, that wasn't her. That was the wrong one. I apologize
for that.
But also
everything.
We meant everything we said to the Takara. Yes. Okay, so to the comedian Takara,
it all stands.
We still mean that you're wrong.
Yes.
And you need to cut it out. Okay. So and it wasn't funny. As a comedian, you should have had a better joke. Okay. So if y'all wonder what we're talking about, y'all can go check out the bonus episode over there in the YouTube. Okay. Speaking of, we are streaming on YouTube, but we're also on Facebook. But this is the thing, y'all. We ain't gonna be over there on Facebook too much longer. Okay, because this is why we looked at our analytics. And we saw that the majority of our viewers are actually the largest population is the 25 to 34-year-old population. And then after that, it's the 18 to 24. Then after that, it's the 35 to 44 and 45 and to 54. So they not over there on the what's it called? On the Facebook. Right. They not, the young people not over there. Okay, that's that's the aunties and such. Now we gonna still keep a presence, okay, and such, but the party is happening here on the YouTube.
That's it.
Okay, that's where the comments is at. That's where the people are at that are watching, right? So that's where you can participate in the show and give us, the information on YouTube. So transition, okay, come on over to YouTube world.
Hey now.
All right. So that's important. The other thing, so we are looking for interns because I had mentioned we're aunties, right? And also we're experts at what we experts at,
Yes.
but also we at the things we don't. Okay. So we currently, for instance, have interns that are working with us on editing. We have another intern that's working with us on building out podcasts, right? So there are really a lot of opportunities. So if you are somebody who is like, I want to get into content creation, I want to understand the behind the scenes, I want to be able to build my resume, all of that, like we want you to reach out to us because we have an opportunity for you. Now, what can you get in return, baby?
Opportunities are endless.
You heard me. Okay. I'm a life coach, y'all. And I am in next month probably going to start, well, actually next week, this week, we have a big meeting with some brilliant minds that we are bringing together to launch the next cohort of people to go through Discover Your Destiny. And I just, now is the best time to be trying to partner with this because I'm going to say, number one, it's the cheapest it's ever going to be.
Amen.
And number two, if you have skills that you can barter, it don't cost nothing because you barter. So I'm just saying,
it's a win-win.
Okay. Well, anyway, so we're looking for income. So if you are someone who is specifically between the ages of 18 to 25 or so, we're looking for you at the intern. If you are at a level outside of that age range, that does not exclude you. Please do still reach out because a bartering agreement may be able to be reached. But if you're in the Patreon, you actually get a discount. So all right. Now, what's the form for the interns? Is it set up already?
Yes. Yes. It is.
You want to put it in the comments?
Yes, we're gonna put it in the comments so that way you'll be able to go in, select what you're interested in, what you would like to get out of this, because again, a big piece of that is we want to be able to help you develop your skills for yourself. What's completely you'll hear in this universe is understanding that your job is not solely to make other people great. It's how do you get and improve your life as well. So that's super important.
Yeah. So then, Ask An Auntie is our new segment, and we're going to give y'all an example of that today. But if you are like, child, I got questions that need answers, or am I right? I need another opinion. What would you do? So send us your Ask An Auntie scenarios and such, because it's a lot happening, and sometimes you need somebody else to weigh in, and we are willing to be those for you. So if you go to tinyurl.com/askanauntie, then you are able to submit that. And can we put that into the comments?
We sure can.
Cool. So then also, if you want to be a guest, guess what? You do this. You can, right? So we're gonna we can still do virtual things. So if you want to be a guest on the show, you want to give your opinion about something, you want to come on for a particular segment, then you can do that, and you will email us at mindyourbusiness@gmail.com. In the subject line, you're gonna put "Let me on" there. Okay. But there are some things, there are some requirements. If you're gonna be a guest, you do have to have grilled cheese with syrup. You have to taste it, okay? Because y'all be acting like it's so bad and you ain't never even had it.
You know?
So it is mandatory. Did you?
Mm-hmm. With Colby Jack cheese.
Oh, no.
Sir.
That might be what I have for breakfast.
lovely.
Oh, and you know what? I got that blueberry and oatmeal bread.
Oh,
that's
I know
good.
blueberry.
Ooh,
Fancy. I don't really like baked blueberry.
Oh, really?
Which is interesting.
Okay. Interesting.
Nah.
Okay.
So you're
yeah.
ready to say.
Great. I'm feeling that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I think that's what I'm gonna have.
That's gonna be good with the syrup.
I know.
Oh, that could be.
Yesterday I had it with peanut butter, and it was so good.
I almost now want. Maybe I do want to try. I feel like it could be a good griddle situation. You know, you don't eat meat,
I know.
but I feel like that flavor profile together.
Yeah, possibly. So yeah, so if you come on, you have to try syrup with grilled cheese. But this is the thing, we also have an announcement. Next week we are going to have a crossover universal episode. So another universe is coming here to be on, so you don't put syrup on your grilled cheese and to hang out with us. Now, again, I'm gonna mention, if you're not in the Patreon, you're gonna be missing out on the shenanigans, because I'm sure we're gonna be going live and talking about things and all of that. So even if you just like, it's only $5. But anyway, I'm not gonna tell you who it is. But there is a clue.
Yes.
That is present.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there is a clue that is present. So I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but there is a clue. So y'all can put y'all guesses in the comments of who you think is gonna be coming into the So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese, Mind My Black Ass Business Universe. Okay. All right. Okay, is that all the announcements?
Church announcement.
Lord have mercy. It was a lot, but we had to get those appointments. Okay, all right. So, I mentioned that we started this at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So at the beginning of the year, I was still in Mexico. Mm-hmm. Jesus, girl, this year been fun, to say the least. Today, it's almost over too. I know. We need rocking chairs. We need rocking chairs.
A rocking chair, a hammock. I just want to sway.
I feel like we was on the porch just now. And you know,
Did you see
when she got a grandbaby now?
No.
Yeah. Cute baby.
Oh my goodness. I saw the pictures when they went to homecoming.
Oh, the baby's are going to homecoming.
Okay, so cute in real life.
It's
happening. It's cute. Keep posting.
Love it. We be loving y'all. Our internet nieces and nephews. They're so cute.
They be so cute.
Y'all got some cute kids.
You know?
You really do.
Keep showing. Don't let people tell you we don't want to see them go to school. That's not true. We like to see their first day of school.
Yes. All the pictures, because they watch them grow up. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, on one of those first episodes, we had a homework question.
Yeah.
And the homework question was, what genuinely brings us joy?
Right.
And you were like,
okay. Nothing.
So, as we were doing our run the show yesterday, it came back up. So I'm wondering what I don't know what you're talking about. I'm wondering. That's going to have to be a scandal. Find the petty moment. Just trust and believe. Oh, and baby, when the universe collide, it's gonna be petty flying all around here. That's another clue. When them universes collide, baby, it's gonna be petty boots. Petty boots. Petty boots. Okay, so I want to circle back to that question. Yeah. So I'm gonna let you kick it off. What genuinely brings you joy?
What genuinely brings me joy? So that is still, again, a process.
Okay.
Of me figuring out all of those answers. But I have been able to discover, like, certain things, like little elements that bring me joy that I may not have realized how big they were for me. So, like, one of them is flowers. And I didn't realize it till we went to this cute little market that Kim goes to to get her eucalyptus punches for the shower because she is a phenomenal hostess. I will let you know. I'm just saying, you have a spa-like experience in your bathroom. So you can get the music, you can get the lighting, you can get the eucalyptus spa smells, all of it, right? So she was going in to just re-up on the eucalyptus. And when I was in the States, that was one thing that I would do is buy flowers for myself, and just like rearrange them, just take that time and cut them and listen to the flowers, tell you how they want to be presented, all that, right? And I would usually do like 3 bouquets, one in the bathroom, one in the dining room, and in the living room. Well, when I wasn't working and money got funny, right? That was one of the first things that I had to go.
Yeah.
And it was like, girl, you cannot spend $45 on flowers every month like that. You don't need that, right? So that was one of the first things gone. So when we went to this little flower shop, I was like, oh, maybe I'll just get some flowers, you know? So I pick up a couple lilies and like just some like Gerber purple doodads, and call it a day. When I tell you, walking away from that little flower shop, I'm not even going to skip it, y'all. I was like I'm holding Kim's eucalyptus. She's like, I can hold that. I'm like, no, I got the eucalyptus in one arm, I got my lilies and my Gerbers in the other arm, and I'm telling you,
She looked so happy.
I could feel the joy just emanating from my pores. And then I got home.
Wait, before you got home on the way, you found out how much it cost.
Oh my God. So keep in mind the $45, right? And I would just go to like Rouse's and pick up some bunches. I did go through a period where I got flowers delivered. They were a little more expensive. We're not gonna talk about how I was living a different life than I did. Anyway, but yeah, so Kim's like, oh yeah, you know, you and your expensive flowers, this normally cost me like $1.50. She's like, it came out to like $7. I'm like, $7? All the flowers. I could have gotten roses, some hydrangeas for like $10, right? So it's super accessible. So just the fact that it made me feel so good, and to know that I could actually sustain that feeling and go, you know what, next week I can go get more flowers. So that definitely brings me joy. I also realized one thing that I'd stopped doing was just like getting my nails done. I would go get a pedicure because sometimes your feet have to look nice, right? But I stopped getting my nails done. So then we got here and Kim introduced me to this wonderful little place called Super Wow. And then these 2 amazing artists. Her artist is Veronica Ribeiro, and then my artist is Camila. They're phenomenal, and they will do just about anything. Well, they won't do anything. They're going to complain about it. Which I appreciate because that is also a personal way that brings me joy. I will do a lot of things, but I'm going to complain about it as well, just because it makes you feel good. But I thoroughly enjoyed that whole process. And it's also just a learning experience. We talk about me being a student and liking to learn. So I'm learning Spanish in the middle of that. They're learning English in some cases. And just me being able to pick out like, okay, what designs do I like? Or what do I want to see? Because I'm normally like, I can only wear OPI, which is like a pale white gray, like it, you know. And now it's like, I want bows and lines and cobalt blue and give me some matte this week. So right now the joy is the flowers, the nails, and then actually being on this journey and discovering what the joy is, you know, because I can actually access it. Mm-hmm. I think before I just couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it.
Yeah. I love that so much. I'm just over here just cheesing because I remember asking you back when we first started the podcast. So you were like, I don't know, girl. I'm just trying to make it another thing. But to see you not only be able to identify, but also be able to access the small things. And then especially for you to find joy in getting your nails done, because that's something for me that I don't wear nail polish for a really long time because it always will chip. So, and I never did acrylic nails. So I just didn't wear nail polish. English, and then it was unprofessional, then it was acting, and then you can't, and modeling, and you can't have nail polish your nails. So it's one of the things that I started for myself when I realized it's only $20 for me to be able to treat myself to something that is seemingly so simple, but it is a simple thing that can make me feel like I did something for myself.
Yeah.
And then the bonus is, so Veronica, my nail artist, she was the first person that ever did my nails when I came to Columbia. And I didn't have an appointment. I just walked in and they were like, she kind of speaks English, I think, so give it to her. So Veronica tells me, she's learning English or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And I can feel energy when I'm talking to people. And of course, she's like touching my hands, right? So I'm just feeling her energy. And I don't know what we talked about that first time, but I remember I had a really good time. And then the next few times, I didn't make an appointment, so I just went to whoever. And the other people were not, they weren't, even like the way that they did things, that like, it wasn't hers. But every time I would go in, she would always speak to me. So then I was like, how can I get an appointment? Like, how can I come to you? So she's like, oh, let's make an appointment. And ever since then, she's been my person. So then when I was like, my cousin is coming, like, I need someone. She's like, I've got the perfect person because that's how Camila came in. But we be telling stories in the nail salon, y'all, in Spanish, in English, it's just like across. Right. So and tell them, catch up. But it was a flow of fun.
And I feel bad for the other people. They are not having nearly as much fun as we are.
They don't.
And I mean, we are having a blast. And it's like, here's the thing. Like, it's also that commitment to self-care because, like, our appointment might be at 9, 10 o'clock, well, 10, 11 o'clock, something like that. And we'll be there till, like,
1, 2, about 3 or 4 hours.
Like, it's just an amazing time. And all you're doing is just interacting, connecting, and it's phenomenal. I can't even describe it. And then at the end of it, to be like, oh, that was $16. Excuse me? It was $40 just for a pedicure. What are we talking about? Why are we still there? I don't understand. But anyway, that's here. Like, find your place.
Yeah. So we do have a comment because I asked viewers what genuinely brings you joy.
Yes.
Food and soft music is what Ashley said. So that would be my answer would be music. And it's interesting because I have different movements of music. And it's funny because I was thinking this morning when you were like, are you okay? I was like trying to get the line of everything set up and stuff. And I was wondering, because you also wake up hella earlier than me. So by the time I'm getting up, it's like your noon, if you will. So you probably have already done the soft wake up situation. And I'm just soft waking up. So then I'm like,
wow. Well,
good morning. Relax. You're very much. Very much. Because I just finished meditating. Like, I'm like, okay, let me ease in. And she's like, y'all baby.
But you it's like, Jesus. Just got it. Just relax.
Give me a moment.
Oh, God.
Give me a moment. So, but one of the things that brings me joy is having certain types of music. So in the morning, it's very much like meditative, affirmational type tunes. I start out with not really lyrics at all, and then kind of move into like affirmational type lyrics, and then from there into like a Cleo Soul or Snow Allegra type vibe, and then maybe by the afternoon, then it's like, Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have like different movements of the music. But it was funny the other day, I was like, okay, so we probably gonna have to be like quiet hours and or days or earbuds or like because I don't want to you've been awake to stuff. So I don't want to come and be like, and you like,
It's like it's 12 o'clock.
because I usually wake up. I usually start waking up somewhere around 9 or so. But that's like usually very much a very casual type of thing. Oh, it's 9. Okay. I guess I want to try to get started by 11. Like type of thing, right? My morning routine starts at 11.
Right.
So if I'm not awake by 11, it starts at 11, right? I'm not a morning person. Okay. Mornings, I never did like mornings, even when I taught middle school because I don't want to be, who the hell is in a meeting at 6 in the AM? Why would you do that to me?
That's me.
That's just, and also dealing with other people's children. Right? At 7 in the AM, a couple more hours. A couple more hours. So my schedule always started at 9 AM. Like I always, the kids didn't come 9:20 or 9:40. Like I need a soft entry into this day, you know. So anyway, I was thinking because I don't want to be in my 6 AM hour and you in your 2 PM hour and I'm coming out here like relax. But because I also remember I told you I used to do phone back. Right. I'm thinking about doing that again. Even though my phone never rings.
You know how notifications on? She phone fast every day. But she's just gonna put the phone in the drawer and stuff. That's the difference.
It'll just be off. It'll just be off.
Well, how we get my auntie? They gonna go home? I think Lucky is like Uber delivery. So it's like, but I will say I don't order food. I order groceries. So I can't be like, there's another door. So we're gonna have to.
We'll have to figure out if the
Oh,
or not. Or you go down there and get it.
sure. But I don't know.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll figure it out. But yeah, my brain needs that. Mm-hmm. So the it's almost like a massaging of my brain with the different types of music. So that really brings me joy. The other thing is incense. And I really get sad, and I do want to make an appeal. Okay, if we had a producer right now with single cameras, I'd be like, single me out. Listen. You're so I love incense. I would burn incense all day and night if I had an unlimited supply of incense. And this is the thing about incense is you can't really ship it easily because it goes into the category of spice. And spices go into the category of food. And there are lots of restrictions when it comes to that. So because of that, when I find incense, it's like gold because it's like, oh my God, I would use this all the time, every day, all the things, right? It is one of the things that brings me a lot of joy. And sometimes it's in short supply, and I feel like I have to ration it out. And then I get very sad. Okay. So if you were ever looking for a way to bless my soul, it would be by contributing to the incense fund. Okay, this is my humble opinion. Is there a particular fragrance that you? So I don't like incense that is I don't want to put them on letters, but the like synthetic scented, and I don't like that. I really like the ones, I don't even know what the name of the brand is. It's like a brand that's like straight from India. And Nag Champa is one that I'll get, or like Blessings. It really doesn't even matter with that brand. I just know that incense burns cleaner than the incense that's like chemicals. Yeah. I'm about to do the fragrance family.
Like floral, musky.
I think more musky, probably. Yeah, I think more musky. Even so, then, but also essential oils, also, and diffuser,
Yeah.
also great meat. Did you put a picture of it anywhere?
So, but this look your joy.
But so what?
Okay. We've discussed before that I'm a beach girl. I love everything about it. I want to lay out. I want to feel the sun. I want to smell the water. I want to send my words out to the waves. All the things, right? Medellin don't have no water. It's none. So Kim asked me, she's like, well, how can you make the beach here? Like, how can you get the beach for yourself? And I'm like, do. So I was like, oh, maybe I could do like a little fountain or something. Because I also got a little nightstand for my bed, so I could put my flowers on it. So I was like, oh, I could get, a fountain and put on there. So now I'm sitting on Amazon, listening to fountains, trying to see like,
were you really?
Oh, girl. Oh, rabbit hole. Trying to find a like that's just not the right tinkle. Like that doesn't feel
And
that's the right frequency, right? So I find this thing, and it's like this cloud. It's this pretty cloud, and it makes like raindrops into this little reservoir. And then it has different colored lights, and you can change the intensity of the lights, and it just sounds perfect. It sounds like rain. It sounds like running water. So I have that, and then I have a little diffuser that I've been like trying out different essential oils to see which ones I like. Because I really want coconut. If you can find me coconut essential oil, you can also send that to me.
We also, though, I have like a pending project because remember I was telling you I wanted to do the coconut lime scrub.
Yeah.
So we really do need like coconut essential oil or something.
So yeah, as the Krafty Cousins get born, then we need these things. So yes, coconut will be phenomenal on the waist, making it also make it smell and feel like the beach. But yeah, I love my little cloud. It brings me so much joy. I'm only sad because it only will run for 3 hours at a time. So
when you're sleeping, yeah.
But
it puts you to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go to sleep with it on, which is really nice. And then when I wake up at all hours in the morning, then I press it again.
Yeah. So the other thing that I enjoy is the rain.
I love the rain here.
It is. I've talked about it before somewhere. So listen, y'all. This is the thing. I want to stop this. I have a lot of content to where I've explained things before, and I encourage you all to go back to check it out. Specifically, right now I'm referencing my podcast, and it's on the YouTube page, and it's called Minding My Black Ass Business. But it's the journey of what happened when I experienced my mental health crisis, like what was leading up to it. And the reason I would like for you to listen to it is because I give a lot of insight into this kind of stuff, and hopefully it makes you think about these questions that we're talking about. But the rain here is one of the things that brings me so much joy because it is so light and misty, and the rain in the U.S. is like so heavy and like torrential, and even here when it does thunder, it's still, the rain is still very light and soft. Yes, and then it sweeps over the city, and then it sweeps back out. Like, it's one of my absolute favorite things to do. So when I see that it's raining, I'm like, oh my God, it's about to rain. And I get really excited. And sometimes I'll go on the balcony, or I'll stand in the window and just watch it. So yeah.
We found a lot of joy.
Congratulations to you, because that was a lot of work.
Yes.
For you to think through that. And
Took a long time.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So our next segment, that was our homework, and that was our transcript. So thank you. Okay. So also, our next segment is called Yes Indeed. Now, yes indeed is something that people say in the world. And how would you describe it? Like what in what
What does it mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, indeed. Like isn't that something?
Yeah. I was saying the same thing, like, hey, that's something. Or that's interesting.
You don't say.
Yeah.
See.
Yes, indeed. Okay. So that is also another clue to who is coming to the universe. We giving y'all clues, okay? There have been a couple guesses in the comments, but you are not correct. Okay. So anyway, so our next segment is yes indeed, and these are our life updates. So I already kind of gave y'all one of mine about my podcast business, the universe, and the collab, and all of that. So I'm gonna let you kick off the yes indeed.
The yes indeed of it all. Well, so we were watching this one video about rewind. So there was there's this guy, Simon Sinek, who I like. He's a he doesn't call himself a motivational speaker, so I hesitate to call him that. But he's an authority on leadership. He's written a lot of books on leadership and leaders eat last, and especially even in the military, just kind of different ways to think about interpersonal relationships in companies and in business, right? Well, he's kind of transitioned out of the corporate world of like dealing with that particular leadership, but just understanding the human interpersonal relationships outside. And so his latest kind of information that he's been putting out is based on friendship and its importance. And it was super cool because he's done a few different things with friendship. Like one of them, he was saying utilizing friendship to find out your why and understanding like your purpose in life and how you can utilize your friends to discover that instead of just constantly racking your brain to figure out what that means. He also talks about like just setting up in your friendship, having those spaces to really be vulnerable and just say like, he calls it the 8 minutes, where if any friend calls and is like, hey, do you have 8 minutes? Like that's the signal to know like, I need you, like, and I need that time. And so they, either schedule it, figure it out, whatever the case is, but the flag has been raised. He also has a rule with his friends that no one cries alone. So that, if you're feeling in that mode, then maybe you make that call and say, hey, do you have 8 minutes? So you don't cry by yourself. So it's kind of like that's who Simon Sinek is. And I really appreciate his work. It's super easy to fall down a rabbit hole with him. There's lots of clips of him on TikTok. But he recently did an interview with Trevor Noah, which we can put it into the comments. We'll put it in the comments so you guys can see the video. It's like maybe 20 minutes, 24 minutes, something like that. Where him and Trevor sit down and talk about friendship and how important it is to us as humans to have those relationships, and that sometimes we don't honor that because we're so busy working and with our schedules, and we have things planned, but if something comes up for work, we'll put those plans aside. And one of the things he said that I thought was just super, super impactful was put a name to who you move out of the way. Like in order to go to this meeting, I had to put Kim on the back. In order to, take this call, I needed to put my kid on the back. And when you personalize it that way, it makes you go, oh, right. Like, hold on, is this call worth it? Because this person is worth everything to me. So it was really cool to see them just sit down and to see two men sitting down and talking about friendship and how they relate to other people, and just kind of what they were looking to get out of it. It was just really cool because you had a chance to look at it. What were some of your thoughts when you saw it?
So that struck me as far as we put people aside for work and seldom put work aside for people. And also, just now, even when you were saying about the 8 minutes, it really contextualizes it for me how little time that it can take to show up for somebody. And how we spend 8 minutes all the time. Yeah. And it could be a time where we are being intentional. I also think it's interesting that many times we prioritize romantic relationships over friendship.
Yeah.
And that is something for me that I have been processing because all my life it was the goal was supposed to be to get married and you're supposed to find a partner and you can have kids and so you can do things. But what I have witnessed is romantic partnerships come and go.
Right.
I've witnessed people get married and tend to be married, and then they choose not to be married for whatever reasons, and then that ends. I've witnessed people be in relationships and walk away. I've witnessed that happen, and then it's like they killed the person in their minds. And I never understood that because if this was somebody that you are saying that you love and you intended to spend your life with, how does it get to a point that you now hate them and they are dead to you and you have absolutely nothing time to say to them or about them unless there was like some type of abuse or whatever. So, and I have read this book, Sisterhood Heals. And again, this is something I talk about in the podcast that I was just referencing a moment ago. So, Sisterhood Heals is about the power of community and the power of sisterhood and friendship and how we heal in community and how do we learn about what sisterhood meant and how we show up for each other and how do we have vulnerable conversations. Like the book is so good. It's by Dr. Joy Harden Bradford. She is the founder of Therapy for Black Girls. And she's a part of my story, if you will. But the book really talks about the power of friendship. And in the book, she talks about how we prioritize these romantic relationships, but at the core of it should be friendship. And I've been finding myself saying that to people and they don't understand. And it's interesting to me because we should have friends. And we should be able to have friends that we can show up as our true selves with. Friendship is something I have struggled with because I have been a very good friend to people, but people have not been a good friend to me. And I've really had to create parameters around friendship, right? For instance, transparency, accountability, and in fact, which is another clue for anybody who's trying to guess who's coming to the universe. But having those type of parameters, like you said, Simon Sinek said, nobody cries alone. Like I think that's important to sit down and say, what do we want this friendship to operate like? And because I'm a part of a lot of groups that should provide friendship and sisterhood, and unfortunately they don't. And it pains me so much because we should be showing up for each other. We should be holding space for each other and being real with each other. But so many of our friendships are performances, and it makes me sad.
That's very sad. You know, because it does take a lot of vulnerability to just even put yourself in that position, you know, and then to not have it, not even, or yeah, because you don't do things to get things back. You know, like friendships aren't transactional. I'm not gonna say you did this 6 times, so now it's my 7th time. I got to do this way. But it's just really sad when you find that you let your guard down. You know, trusted, created this vulnerability, and then not have that delivered.
Right.
It shakes you, you know, and it shakes the rest of your interactions with other people so that when people do show up, and say, hey, I'm here to be your friend, lean on me, like do these things, you have to override all those other past kind of memories and experiences, what have you, in order to try to give this person room. And it's way more impactful, I think, than we give it credit, and it's huge when you say, the friendship piece should be the core piece of it all, even in your romantic relationships, because
especially in your romantic relationship.
Because like, why wouldn't I want that to be my friend or my favorite person or the one I want to share these things with? Not to say that that's your only friend. Like, please.
It shouldn't be your
like, please have your other friends.
That's not fair.
That's not fair or healthy. You definitely need your own circle to provide the necessary support, all that good stuff. But yeah, you should have that. And in a romantic relationship, yeah, the difference is there's a physical component to it. But at the core, there should be that kind of coming to the table and understanding that this is a person who I care about, because I know even my therapist, because I'm close with my ex, and she's like, what would happen if you were dating someone and they had a problem? Like, then that's not the person for me because he's in my life. You know what I mean? Like,
if they have a problem with you being friends with, yeah.
Like, that's not the person.
And what's so interesting is I was just having this conversation with someone the other day, and I was explaining to them, about friendship, because I said I am looking for people who want to be in my life because of me, not because you have access to my sexual organs.
Right.
And I was explaining, like, so I've had 3 exes, let's just say, right, 3 significant exes. Only one of those 3 do I have nothing to say about, is because abuse was present. But the other 2, I'm very much so friends with them, very much so care about them, very much love them, very much want them to be okay, very much would be upset if something happened to them, very much invested in their lives and the thing, So then the person was like, so you still want to be romantic with them? I'm confused, because that is not the same thing. It's not. But it's so abnormal. Like, it's something for me. I talk about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett all the time, because I really do understand how they were like, we will be each other's person. Right. Even if some other people come into this, you will always be able to depend on me, because I love you as a person, not you, this title and figure that you're right. And it is so much more of a deeper love than many people ever experience. Yeah. So it's interesting to try to explain that to people and they don't get it. But as you said, then you're not the person for me, because this is how love shows up in my life. Right. Yeah.
It's not rooted and tied to titles. It's to the people.
Yeah.
But yes, so the friendship, I thought that was really interesting. So I went kind of down that rabbit hole with him. And I really liked how he talked about.
He is kind of Kalonda has to use pronouns, and I struggle with pronouns. Okay, and I mean, I don't mean in the sense of calling someone their appropriate pronoun.
No,
I mean in the sense of who is he, and which he is he, and which she, and which they is them, and it.
What is it?
What?
What are you talking about?
Define what you are saying. So if anybody who is watching who is like me, and she's like, so she was having a conversation in her brain, and then she just it was like, so yeah, so he was saying, and y'all are like, which he now,
where we talk about
he is fine.
Yes, we're still here.
Go ahead.
But I enjoyed his thought of discovering your purpose through your friends. So he would say, you ask your friends, what is it about me specifically that you want in your life? Like, specifically, your friend. And they'll say, like, you're dependable, like, you I can trust you. You are willing to help me. It's like, okay, cool. Like that's the definition of friendship. But what is it about that I do specifically that has me show up as a friend for you? And his thought process is that after a while, they stop describing you and start describing themselves and how you really make them feel and how you show up in their lives. And that if you do that with like a couple of your friends, you'll start to see some kind of similar thing between them. Now he did say not to do it with like your siblings or your parents because the dynamics are a little bit different and the history is usually a little different. But they'll tell you like what your value is to them. And that way it can help you kind of define your why and your purpose and how you're actually showing up in the world. I was like, oh, well,
I love that.
is really interesting.
Because I feel like I told you this before, it's 12-12, that, can you look at it? I've told you this before that hold on, I lost my thought. Wait. Gotta come back. What were you just talking about? You said
finding your why, your purpose, asking them.
Oh, because a lot of times we don't tell people how much they mean to us. Like we secretly just be like, oh yeah, I watch this. Let me use that statement. This is what happens to me. Is people will be like, oh, I've been following you and you probably don't notice, but you have completely, impacted me in this positive way. You have, you don't know how much your words mean and how blah, blah, blah. Why don't I know? Why don't we tell people when they have a positive impact on us? People need to hear that. And especially people that are in helping professions. And helping professions are like teachers, counselors, mental health specialists, coaches, people that are providing services. We rarely get thank you. We rarely get thank you. So they do matter, every single one. So when we say like, tell us what stood out to you in the comments or, tell us what you're thinking about and coming on this journey with us, all of those are deposits into our spirit to be able to say, yes, it's making an impact. Keep going. Because I'm going to tell you, 92.7% of the time, it don't be feeling like it's making an impact. Okay. It really don't. But we keep doing it because we know that this is God speaking, but it does make a difference. So I want us to be more intentional about letting people know when they are making a positive impact. I got a text message yesterday and they were like, when I'm in your presence, I feel peaceful. And I appreciate that. And it's very different from anything I've experienced, right? And it's like, I'm so glad because that's what I try to bring, right? I try to bring peace, and bring a sense of safety,
right?
So to know that resonated just by me being, I didn't do anything special. I was just being myself. And for them to be like, yeah, that really resonates with me. Thank you. Like we need to hear that stuff. So yeah, 12-12.
12-12. Let's see. All right, this number represents communication, self-expression, optimism, and social interaction. It can be viewed as a sign to step back and reflect on your life, what you love, and what you could live without, and consider what you'd like to build for your future.
What you love and what you can live without.
The audience. I didn't have that in my lunar rabbit hole too. Like it's all the things. Y'all, the universe is it's doing the things. They're all everything's connected.
I love it.
Everything's connected.
So I wonder, so with our lunar rabbit hole, can we hold that?
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about punctuation. Because this is the rabbit hole.
Okay.
And I don't know the ages of the folks that are watching, but we definitely need your participation in this, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching on the replay. Okay. It has come to my understanding that the use of punctuation is considered aggressive.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you've heard of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's the millennials. It may be after the millennials that they tend to not use punctuation, like if they're having a casual conversation. So you then put in a period, it's like, like, and that's what I meant, versus just, oh, we're just
It's
talking.
the end of a sentence.
I'm just saying.
So I am struggling. Have y'all heard about this? Because what?
Yeah. That it's supposed to be, I don't know why. I mean, I guess I get it. Because if I am trying to, like, it used to be if somebody pissed you off and you wanted to just respond but not respond. And so you just put a K, but then you put a period after it to be like,
oh,
take that.
okay.
Like, that's what I mean. If you ever got a K period from me, like, okay, fuck off. Like,
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Y'all out here recognizing punctuation.
It's the nuances of the language, Oh, yeah.
A period?
Period. Because it's like, that's the end of that. We don't need nothing else. Period. Yeah.
This has just come to my attention. And this is what I need y'all to know. I use punctuation. Okay? I'm using commas.
Mhm.
I'm using periods. I might throw a semicolon in there if I'm feeling spicy. Now, what I'm definitely going to use is these ellipses.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
They say that's a Gen X millennial trick, the ellipsis. That's old. That's auntie behavior, or ellipsis.
People like using ellipses. So how do you indicate is the pause?
I think they just pause. But I mean,
But how do you indicate a pause in your conversation? Because that's what the ellipsis is for, in written
they just
communication.
give space. They don't have anything on the line. I don't know, but the ellipsis, like just typing out an ellipsis, the fact that we use it normally is considered auntie behavior.
See, this is what happens when I teach the children. It's cool. And this is coming from an education. What? Girl, this is all so wild to me.
Punctuation, ellipsis, definitely auntie behavior for sure. I love it. Like if I hit you with a so ... like that feels.
So what's these children? Good.
Well, the kids are alphas now. I forget who's before the alphas.
Z, I guess. These children. Who's that? That's the one that's showing
That's school now.
Okay, so then I think it's Z. The Z. Listen to me. Okay. Y'all got to use punctuation. Punctuation serves purpose. Like, because let me tell you something. And I don't know if y'all guilty of this, and if you are, you better cut it out. Okay, now you're listening to TT right now. So I think Kim, okay? Don't send me nothing. If it's multiple sentences, there better be some punctuation. Don't run out paragraph. And let me tell you something. Spell out these words.
Oh God.
Okay. What? You try. Oh my God. Just when you think you're number one.
I've been known to use an abbreviation.
Okay.
It's all
Give me an
I
example.
don't know. It could be like, just the way
You mean write you, the letter U for you?
No, I'll write the word you. But I mean, put it like hit me up, like HMU, or like, what you doing? Like WYB, how you doing? HYB, like, what? But I've done it in like Showtime. Will be like, what does that mean? And I'm just like, this is what it is. You know what I But
Because I'm so tired. When people used to say to me, what the heck it was, and I I don't know, if somebody would type me WYD, I would be like JSWT, and they would be like, what? Just sitting here watching TV. No, stop. You can't spell this. What is wrong? I don't like it. I don't like it.
See, I mean, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like acronyms. I like the little games when they pop up and they're just like, what does this say? And it's like, get your ass in the house before.
Yeah. And also, you better not write that to me. I don't like doing puzzles and scavengers. It doesn't make me happy. It makes me very, very angry.
Oh,
it really does.
Oh, see,
I like puzzles. I don't like puzzles and scavengers coming from people. You need to be giving me the information to do stuff.
Oh my.
It burns my biscuit.
Oh my word.
You remember I told you about when I had gone out to meet that dude?
Oh yeah.
And I was trying to figure out where I was going. That's what happened too. Right. What's his name? What you calling no boy?
I know. I would think on it.
Okay. But I'm not gonna stand here and do too much keep walking. Come find me.
Right.
If you want me to be where you at, you come walk to me. Turn left 360 degrees left, I'm going home. I'll be back in the Uber at my house. I know what.
But yeah, Betsy did the same thing.
Betsy. Yeah. I'm not doing it. So it makes me upset where if somebody were to send me, like, don't send me no acronym. Spell out what they're trying to say. Okay. Sorry.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
So anyway.
It's balance, y'all. You gotta have a
I think it is. It'll take me a minute to get over this. Tell people about the going to the Krafty Cousins.
Okay. So Krafty Cousins, right? So we are cousins who craft, right? And this always makes me laugh because it makes me feel even more auntie than I am. Literally last night somebody asked me what I was doing and I sent a picture. Sent a picture of my blanket. I was like, it is fucking Saturday night. We were supposed to go dancing. We were supposed to take a Roomba lesson, right? And then we were like, second thought,
It was probably, we had like a 15-minute window to decide, like, is everything going to come together
2 hours before, y'all. Yeah.
But there was a window of decision that happened, like a certain number of things had to line up. It was a little cool, like I was like, a little chilly. I was fine. Let's see who's gonna be our partner. And also yesterday was Dia del Amor y Amistad. So the day, it's like Valentine's Day in the US. It's here in Colombia on September 21st. So it was also Roomba. So then it was gonna be a lot of people, and then also, do we have somebody to partner with? And like, it was a lot of things. Ultimately, we didn't go. Crocheting and YouTube.
There you go.
One.
Right. Hey, I had my mountain on. I crocheted some more rows. It was good. So yes, so I'm crocheting, and I'm making what is that? A mood blanket is what I was trying to say. Which is a blanket, right? And I'm crocheting it. And when you look at it, normally it came from what was called a temperature blanket, where you would see the temperature in whatever area for whatever amount of time. If you were doing it a month, a year, what have you. And then you would knit or crochet that row a specific color. So at the end of that time period, you'd be able to kind of track what the temperature was during this time. Well, I adjusted it to make it be mood related. So I would create a legend that had like a list of moods and then corresponding colors. And then I would put it down in this little table so that I would know for each day this was the mood I was feeling. And then when I sit down, I actually crochet that particular color thread so that at the end of these 60 days, I'm gonna have this super colorful blanket that's just a reminder of like what these first 60 days and Medellin has been like for me. So super excited about it. It's already working up. The colors are pretty. They're light. I can't wait to like lay under it and get all snuggly. And I'm also recording a lot of the content. Recording a lot of the content and being able to just kind of see how life lessons pop up while you're crafting. And I just never really thought of it that way, which Kim always laughs because I'm like, I don't have anything to talk about. There's nothing going on.
I just looked at them. I just want the record to the
I'm like, no one's gonna care about this. And then it's like, oh,
this is like, can you believe one of my videos got 500 views? And I'm like, you don't say. You mean people are watching your things? Never would have thought you.
Jay.
Put a penny marker here.
Anyway, that is my Krafty Cousins contribution. What is yours?
So I'm taking that concept and I am modifying it for painting. So I have a 60 centimeter by 60 centimeter canvas. And I am deciding whether I'm going to do boxes or circles to indicate each of my moves that I'm tracking. But what I do know is that my color palette is going to be very similar to peacock and like jewel tones. That's the color palette that I'm going for. So right now I'm in the process of identifying which emotions correspond to which colors. And then I'm going to start painting. So I anticipate, that's one of the things where I'm like, just work on a little bit every day. Right. Just do something every day. So I'm really looking forward to it, though. I'm excited to be painting again. And mixing colors for me is like one of the most funnest parts. I know that was for that. Before the grand cruise. How did that feel to say, but you don't want definitely.
You don't want to preview it.
Exactly. But so yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I really love to paint, and that is something that is definitely going to bring me joy. I look forward to the balcony and propping up my canvas. Also, y'all, it just started raining.
It's raining.
So it's so fun.
It's so fun, but I planned on going to a sports bar to watch the Saints game. So we're gonna see what happens. But I'm thoroughly still enjoying it. I can't go outside and sugar melts.
Got it. So, I wonder, do we have time for? I think we skip our No Mercy Dating Chronicles today. And let's jump to An Auntie.
Okay.
And let's end on that note.
Okay.
And I'll let you choose. Let's just do one.
Do one. Okay, let's see, because we have two.
And again, if you want to submit something to An Auntie, you'll go to tiny URL. Let me put it into the chat. What is it again?
tinyurl.com/AskAnAuntie.
I'm going to put it into the chat for that. Do y'all sing when you're trying to do something so it can fill up the space?
I definitely just song in general. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Okay, Ask An Auntie coming in hot. Also, if you have not liked the video, please do like it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Who is calling me?
Oh, the Kimberland.
Hey, I don't know what that's about. They'll be waiting. I'm not available right now. All right, let me pin this Ask An Auntie to the top. Okay, so if you have scenarios that you want to submit because you need another voice, you want to understand what's happening, please go to that link and fill out the form. If you want to remain anonymous, you absolutely can. Just let us know that you want to remain anonymous. I'm like, where you got to see? Can you see? Is your eyeballs? Is your
It's
people
not the beaver so much as the locale.
the locale?
The locale. For some reason, I don't know why, maybe one of y'all can tell me, why Google Forms does not have its own
Oh.
and so you have to go through the rigmarole to get back to where you want to be. And it's playing with me on my phone. That's all that is. Because we have a really good question that I think y'all would enjoy if I could get to it.
Is it in your drive?
You know,
We didn't put the link. This probably need a producer.
see,
This is why we need a producer. Okay, why you
get my computer.
okay. So why you keep looking for that?
Do a dance.
I'm gonna tell the people
Tell me.
about what Dating Chronicles, No Mercy Dating Chronicles is gonna sound like, look like, and sound like, because it's wild out here in these dating streets, and it's international foolery afoot. Okay, and there are a lot of, how do I want to call it? A lot of cultural differences that arise being here, being from the US and being outside of the US trying to date. For example, people in many Latin American countries, they are not forced out of the house at 18. The custom is that they continue to live in the home until they get married, and I don't know, sometimes they actually don't necessarily move too far away from the home. They just add another floor, or they become like very close neighbors. For us in the US, we don't really do that. For us in the US, at 18 is like out of there, right? On your own, figure it out, figure out how to be an adult, like go to the things. So it's really interesting because here we can meet people, because what you said your age range is the other day.
Don't laugh at me. So I said 38 to like 60. And I'm being generous at 38. Like I've never really dated anybody younger. So that feels weird.
Okay.
And then 60 doesn't feel that far.
That's why.
That's well, I'm 45. So let's just say most people, if I'm 45, would be 4 years older. So like 50, maybe 52. 60 is not that big a stretch. And people are acting longer now.
Sure. So anyway, it's very likely that you might find a 40-something-year-old that is living with their parents, but also it might be that their parents are living with them.
Right.
So it's one of the questions that people ask a lot is, who do you live with? And it was very interesting to me at first because I'm like, with me? Like, what do you mean? But, you know, their parents, with their cousins, with their siblings, with whomever, because it is more familial and communal here than it is in the U.S. So that's one of the things that's interesting. It kind of goes into some of the stories that we have for the No Mercy Dating Chronicles. But we're not going to talk about that right now. We're about to get to that.
Okay. So, and this one actually is dating related.
Okay, cool.
Which is cool. So, all right, here we go.
Okay.
Hi, ladies. Long time listener, first time right. Woo woo. Hey, now, welcome. Thanks. I'm new in my city and I met a very handsome guy. He was very nice and talented. We spoke at length about family backgrounds, what brought us to the city, and vibed over R&B music. I didn't shoot my shot, but knew that at some point I would be seeing him. Sure enough, he messaged to ask what I was up to and if I had plans. I said I didn't, and he asked if I'd like to do something with him. I was a little taken aback, but said sure. He set the time and said he'd pick me up on his motorcycle, so dress comfortably. He picked me up a bit late. He suggested we watch the game that was playing. He asked where my jersey was. I said, He reached into his bag and gave me one. I asked if he wanted me to wear it, and he said yes. I changed, and we were off. He took me to a great food spot and then to a bar after. We continued to talk and get to know each other. Before we left the food spot, he placed his AirPod in my ear and a helmet on my head. He then started playing music and singing the whole way to the next spot. We get to the sports bar and have a great time. I shared some tough times that I was having. He explained how hard life was after losing his wife and how it was hard making friends and connecting with old ones. We danced at the table and laughed. It was really cute. We stayed out until almost 3 a.m. He dropped me off. We said goodbye. He didn't text to say he made it home, but I chalked it up. I didn't hear from him until later the next afternoon. He invited me to his house for one of the client dinners he told me about previously. During the invite, he said that his girlfriend would be there. I'm shocked because he made no mention of her during our outing. I asked for clarification if this was a friend girl or a girl he was dating. He never answered that question, but sent me the address. Curiosity got the best of me, and I went. When I arrived, he directed me inside. There was a group of people there enjoying games and eating. I could tell by how they were interacting that this was absolutely someone he was dating and living with.
Oh! Oh my God! That's another clue for you.
I was more shocked because he didn't have to do any of that. Why even invite me? What if I was crazy and blew his spot up? Why ask to hang out in the first place? I just want to know what you would have done. Would you have gone? Told his girlfriend. That was a lot.
So I was really in it, like, because it's the thing, I definitely want to do the motorcycle ride. I think that is like a love journey. You know, like on the back of the motorcycle, going to the reggae club, or you know, whatever, like to the salsa spot, and you know, getting it in. You know, I think that's cute. So I was like, oh, thank you. Come on, and the ear and the thing. I've always wanted to.
And you don't have to sing good, just that thing. So that's just joy.
Yeah.
It's unrivaled because I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So please no. If I am singing around you, I am comfortable.
Yeah,
so it's like super cool when I see like guys get that level of comfort where they can just be themselves. Yeah.
I love a man that sings. So I was all for that. Now where I got confused.
Man, it was the same place. He got confused.
Well, I got confused. Well, what? Your girlfriend's gonna be there.
You know what? I'm sorry.
And then, so this is the thing. Let me come to it. Listen, y'all got to ask questions. Okay, you got to ask questions and wait for the answers. Because let me tell you about Auntie Kim. I'm not getting dressed until I have all the answers to my questions. Because until then, it's pending.
Really?
So if you're not answering me, that means you don't want me to have this information. Therefore, I'm not coming. I'm at home.
See, I like to find stuff out.
Oh no.
I think the joy is in the discovery. So I probably, yeah.
Mm-mm.
And at that point, you'd be like, well, let's go see.
Well, that's different if you are committing to taking a field trip, right? If you're like, I'm going on an adventure, right? And you are like, I'm going to go where this adventure is leading me, right? But it sounds like, let me use that statement. It's not too often that I am like, I'm going to go on an adventure without any information. It is very rare. Because, one, I live with anxiety, and I need to know what to expect, because this is the thing. People, one, don't understand what that looks like. People don't live inside my world. I know me. Right. So I'm not going to put myself in a situation that I know that is going to cause potential discomfort when I could just be at home, being comfortable with myself. So where are we going? Because I think I told you about the trip I took to Guatemala. And I thought in my mind that I was going to be finished with that 3 hours earlier than I was.
Right.
And then now I feel stuck. I don't ever want to feel stuck. I don't ever, and also I'm not even putting on pants.
The no pants party.
I'm putting on pants to leave out my house if I don't have an understanding of what's actually happening. So this thing is, you got to ask more questions. Okay? You got to ask more questions on the front end. Okay? Instead of finding out on the back end. Because the other thing is, I feel like if we don't ask enough questions, we're already creating narratives in our mind. We're already like in being vulnerable and such. I need to know what we're dealing with here, right? So, okay, do you want to come to dinner? Okay, where's dinner? At a client with clients. Where? They send you the, is this a house? Is this a restaurant? Like, what is this? What is happening? Who all is? Oh, just some people. Who are the people? Who is going to be there? I mean, what is supposed to happen at this thing, right? Because let's say something else about me. I don't like impromptu game nights and things. I went to a baby shower yesterday, and it turned out all right. Right. But they was like, all right, time to play games, breakout rooms. Hey, I'm gonna sign up for this.
But I feel like if you're going to a baby shower, you have to anticipate that.
It wasn't framed that way.
Well, what baby shower does it?
A baby shower for a person that doesn't like games. Like, I wouldn't have games at my baby shower.
Who's doing your baby shower?
I'm not having no baby, so I'm
because you probably go out the game.
not if I
They gonna do it.
Stop doing stuff that you claim that you're doing for people, and you're actually doing it for yourself.
Right.
Okay. Just side note. All right. Now,
but yes,
you got to ask more questions. Is my point. You got to ask more questions before, right? How can we? What do we think? What do? I would have asked more questions. And if I did not get the answers to the questions, I would not have on clothes. And I'm not going anywhere. Why aren't you here yet? Because you didn't answer me. I need the answers to these questions in order for me to feel comfortable in coming to share my energy with you. Because this is the thing, energy, I feel it, and it be a lot. Yeah, I need to understand what's happening, right, and how I need to prepare myself to walk into the. I'm not walking into a situation fine. I'm not. I'm glad I've done that, and it has not worked out well. So
I know, I believe in the power of leaving. So even if it's not, like if I've gone and realized like, oh, this is not somewhere I want to be, this doesn't feel good, I'm quick to say goodbye. It may not say goodbye. In certain cases, I might just be gone.
Y'all be saying goodbye? Because I just be leaving.
It depends. I've gotten better with the goodbye. I was good at saying that.
Who saying goodbye?
Well, I have started to say goodbye. No judging on better or not better. Just different from how I would typically just Irish goodbye and be like, damn, where was Kalonda? She was right here. Or I'm also good for, even if I don't leave, I may just excuse myself from the situation for a minute. Like, I'll go outside, I'll go chill in the bathroom, like, you'll be looking for me. Like, she was here. Her car is outside. Like, she's stuck. Like, I am good for that. I'm definitely good for that. But for this situation, because I probably would have gone just to see what happened. And then, like, open to see what it was. But I think I would wish that I was petty. So I think I would wish that I could have done that. Like, I feel like that would have been the perfect thing, because from what they described, like, it was a super cute little thing, like, all of that, and then to turn around and be like,
so what, like, how would have blew up the fire?
Ooh, let's see. I mean, first, it would have to be subtle things, like, to make him uncomfortable.
Okay.
Because it has to be a game at this point.
Clear. Right. Clear.
Because he's done this to himself. He's asked for it.
Correct.
So I think first you gotta talk.
Okay.
You gotta make him uncomfortable.
Okay.
And just kind of like just dropping a little like, oh, okay, like remember when we, you know, just plant a seed. Sometimes that's all it takes. You know, I mean, we all do. Or just out and out, like wherever y'all went to eat, be like, oh, you know, was that your first time going there? Like that was a really good recommendation, you know, and just try to like force that conversation. I feel like it would have to be the referral, like, oh, what? How did you sleep? You know, you never said you made.
Yeah, you never told.
You never said.
I definitely would have said that. Well, I'm glad to see you. You was gonna come. Or
So late though, I imagine you were just tired.
Right. Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah.
That would be.
I definitely have the capacity.
Like, I could do it.
I definitely do.
Oh,
I definitely do. Because now you're playing.
Yeah.
And that's the literal definition of playing.
In my face.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm good for playing the ignorant. Like I know how to play the ignorant. Like,
I mean, you never told me.
wait. Oh, yeah. Oh, girlfriend.
Got it.
Oh,
okay. I know you told me about your wife.
Yeah. You never mentioned you have a girlfriend.
You know?
This is nice. Yeah, I definitely have the capacity to do that because at that point,
Because he's playing dangerous.
yes, very much.
He didn't like that. He didn't play that. He locked up. Well, we also don't know what she did because she didn't say what she did. She just said she went. Like,
we don't know if she blew up the spot.
She blew up the spot. Like what she did. She just so we don't know.
I hope you blew up the spot in the future. All people to blow up the spot. Because when people invite that type of energy into their world, you play stupid games, you get stupid right. Okay, so let that be a lesson in one. Do with it what you will. All right. Okay. So having said that, y'all, we finna roll on out of here. Kalonda got to get to the Saints game, and you know,
the Eagles, who coincidentally they hired the second lineman to go down Canal Street. That is Philly King. Going down Canal Street and down Bourbon. What? So I really hope y'all understand what's happening.
Man, to go down Canal Street and down Bourbon.
On Saturday. They did it yesterday. That's okay though, because I know my boy's gonna show up. Even though Taysom is out today, everybody say a prayer. But even for these last two games, I feel like I feel confident.
I haven't watched any football in a long time.
And we play the Falcons next week. So
yeah, that's a serious game. But Philly is also a potential game.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I'm not about to watch football. Okay. So, thank y'all for hanging out with us. This show was just a little bit longer because we wanted to kind of give some insight into the things that have been happening. But y'all, we got segments and such. All right. So we get this together, and we need y'all to know it. All right. So we gave y'all a few things to think through. What gives you joy? What brings you genuine joy? The thoughts about friendship and how you prioritize friendship. What that looks like, sounds like for you. How do you use in your punctuation? You know, are you out here weaponizing periods?
We're abbreviating your text.
Oh God, I still can't get over this. How are you processing your feelings and emotions, right? Is there an adaptation that you can do with the mood blanket or the mood painting? Talk to us about that. And if you want to submit scenarios, questions, what have you, to Ask An Auntie, please do that at tinyurl.com/ask an auntie. All right, so those are your assignments. Okay, Kalonda, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Kalonda Bear, KAWANABEAR. You can find me on YouTube under My Black Ass Business in the Content Kalonda playlist. You can also find me on Cash App at $Kalonda, Kalonda. Feel free to announce an American abroad. That is it.
Okay. Sheesh. And you can find me at Minding My Black Ass Business. We do have merch over at Minding My Black Ass Business. So if you want to be out here, be a walking billboard, we absolutely invite you and appreciate you wanting to be a part of this movement. I got an email from someone the other day. They ordered a sweatshirt, cap, and I think maybe a t-shirt. And they were like, I can't wait to rock my stuff. So if y'all get merch, please do make sure you tag us at Minding My Black Ass Business so that we can share and all of that. You can also find me at KimberlandJ over on Instagram, as well as Minding My Black Ass Business on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all the things. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so we need you all to help us. Okay, we know y'all got people. Send them the link. Tell them to subscribe. Okay, just press the button. All right. So we are at like 690 subscribers, I believe, and fastly approaching 1,000 subscribers. We're gonna have a twerk fest when we get to 1,000. Okay, and we I need to show you how when I did the when I was with the instructor the other day. And I sure did, baby. Oh, put your hand on your hip and flip.
Now see if that ain't the most toxic I've ever heard in my life. Lord have mercy. On that note, we love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you 2 weeks from now, unless it's before. Bye.